quick announcement and special thank you.
Congratulations, riders. Awesome job.
Hey!
And it was a long weekend, a lot of heat, a lot of emotional and physical ups and downs. I just want to thank everyone in the crew, the riders, the volunteers for coming out. It was an awesome weekend. Thank you so much.
Yeah!
So as you can see, we finished down Greenwich Ave in Greenwich, Connecticut, and the reason why we do that is for Sergeant Roger Patron here. The Tri-State Trek raises money for ALS Lou Gehrig's disease for the research at the ALS Therapy Development Institute in Cambridge. And this event could not be what it is, and the finish could not be what it is without the help of the town of Greenwich. So the first selectman, Peter Tessie, was supposed to be here to accept this award. I'm not sure. He's here. Peter? Oh, hi, Peter. Thank you. Dedicated to the town of Greenwich for your tireless efforts and commitment to end ALS from ALS TDI. And also I'd like to give a big thank you to the Greenwich Police Department. A lot of their work is behind the scenes. They dedicate so much time and resources in support of their colleague Roger and to put on this amazing event. So we just could not do it without you. You've done so much for the ALS community, for awareness, for raising money for research. So we'd like to dedicate to the town, the Greenwich Police Department for your tireless efforts and commitment to end ALS. Thank you to Roger and Lieutenant Rick Cochran for all that he's done. All right, well, thank you all so much. And now I'd like to introduce Terry Hanratty.
Oh, that's Terry Hanratty.
From the NFL. And he's going to say a few words about his connection to ALS. Thank you so much for being out here today.
Thank you. First, I'm going to start out. Everybody gets your bikes in 15 minutes. We're heading back to Boston.
Yeah! Not before we eat.
I want to thank everybody here. Not only the participants, but everybody who had anything to do to putting this on, because it's a great cause. Unfortunately, I buried a dear friend of mine about 10 days ago, Pete Duranko, who was my teammate at Notre Dame, and he had ALS for 12 years, and it was, it's not fun. And prior to that, another great Notre Dame receiver, and New Canaan receiver in Pete Demerly, and Greenwich native, we also succumbed to that disease. But I was very fortunate when I heard from the NFL that you were having this today, to be part of it. Then when Mary Ellen Woodman asked me if I would be Roger's voice, I was honored, because this is the least I could do, because I realized there are probably only 2 Steeler fans in this whole audience. So I got the speech, and it was eloquent. I just hope that I can say it, read it, as well as Roger wrote it. And here we go. My name is Roger Patron. Due to my declining speech, I am honored to be calling my voice quarterback in off the sideline to narrate. Former Notre Dame and Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Terry Hanratty. Let me begin by saying that I am only one individual out of about 30,000 that are battling this disease in the United States. We each have our own story and our own family affected by this. Due to my 15 years relationship in the town of Greenwich and the publicity of the Tri-State Trek, I understand that my name has been thrown around a bit. But I would like to stress that I am not alone in this fight. And we're fortunate to have this evening with us Steve Sailing. And he's been on this trek a lot longer than I, and he is the true warrior. This is my ALS experience. I was always active, not being able to sit still for too long, and constantly on the move. As a kid, I often found riding my bicycle, swimming, and sneaking on the golf course to fish in my favorite ponds. In high school, I played football and was co-captain of the wrestling team. The enjoyment I had working with my hands led me through the years of being involved in the Boy Scouts, a volunteer firefighter, and an employee of the ambulance service. Being somewhat of an adrenaline junkie, I had a fondness for motorcycles and rode at every opportunity. As if the combination of two wheels, speed, and windy roads wasn't enough, I still wanted to experience something higher, faster, and three-dimensional. I went on to earn my pilot's license, quickly followed by a seaplane rating. No hang gliding?
Not yet.
My 17 years of employment with the Greenwich Police Department has been enjoyable, adventurous, and filled with a great deal of personal satisfaction. Continuing to be my physical, outgoing self, I joined the department's scuba and SWAT teams and spent the boating seasons patrolling our local waters, the Marine Division. Shortly thereafter, I was promoted to sergeant. I was at a point in my life where everything was coming together. I had a satisfying career, a beautiful daughter, Sydney, and I was in the best physical shape of my life. My beloved Steelers recently won a Super Bowl title after a 26-year drought, and not those irritating Patriot fans. Life was pretty good. It was during the spring of 2007 when I first noticed something was not wrong. During a SWAT team physical fitness, I had difficulty passing some of the exercise that used to be so easy for me. Then I began noticing a subtle slur in my speech and muscle twitching in my shoulder. One night a relative Googled my symptoms and called up in tears, asking if I could have this thing called ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. I'd heard of Lou Gehrig's disease, but did not know what it was. I looked it up, and after seeing how rare and devastating it was, I thought there was no possible way that that could be me. I was only 37 years old, exercised regularly to prevent health problems, and read and reread facts about the disease. It is rare, affecting 2 out of every 100,000 people, typically between the ages of 40 and 70. The motor neurons in the brain and spinal cord die off, causing all the volunteer muscles to waste away. This leads to complete paralysis, while the mind remains razor sharp and all the senses are unaffected. Most patients succumb between 2 and 5 years after symptom onset due to respiratory failure. It devastates families because later stages of the disease require round-the-clock care for the patient, often resulting in someone quitting their career to provide this. The cause is not known, and there is no cure or effective treatment. I finally decided to see my physician, who referred me to a neurologist. After numerous testing procedures that required multiple office visits, the neurologist was either unable or afraid to diagnose the problem and referred me to a specialist in New York City. The doctor asked me to perform a number of simple tests such as repeating phrases, moving my fingers and hands, and checking my reflexes. Then he delivered the worst news of my life: you have ALS. Second and third opinions led down the same gloomy path. The next few months were extremely difficult for me mentally. I was unable to walk by a photo of my daughter without breaking down. I was afraid not at the end result that the disease brings, but the process in which it would occur. I wondered how this would affect my career if I should tell anyone. To this day, I don't know how I was able to put on my uniform and serve the town of Greenwich while harboring my diagnosis. As the weeks turned into months and the months into years, I was able to mentally grasp my prognosis. Today, 4 years later, I am unable to walk, speak, or raise my arms above my waist. My loss of balance has caused many a fall, resulting in broken bones, concussions, stitches, bumps, and bruises. Even worse than my physical injuries is my having to rely on people for even the simplest of things, like bathing, dressing, preparing meals, transportation, and the list goes on. I've had to give up most of the activities that brought me pleasure and have been reduced to a mere spectator in life. I would give anything to once again to have the ability to play tag with Sydney, teach her to hit a softball, and carry her on my shoulders. Sorry. Of all the terminal illnesses that are out there, I would have chosen any other one than this that would have given me a quicker and easier way out. With that being said, there's been some positive moments throughout my ordeal that are worth mentioning. My daughter, refusing to sit idly, took it upon herself to demonstrate her leadership skills. With the help of her North Street school classmates, she organized a fundraiser that earned over $7,000, which was dispensed to ALS, TDI, and various other charitable organizations. I've been witness to all the good things that people can do, not because they have to, but because they want to. From the community as a whole to the countless individuals that stepped up to the plate. My colleagues at the police department who have been active in the tri-state trek for the last 3 years, both riders and uniformed support personnel. I have long considered you my adoptive family. To all the participants in the trek, from the organizers to each and every rider, I am impressed by your passion to make this such a successful event, and I'm honored to sit amongst you. This year's edition of the Carnival for Kids and the 5K Run Walk are two more examples of how people can utilize their creative side to make an event even better, great event even better. A cure may not come in my lifetime, but I am hopeful that one day it will happen so that other people will not have to go down the same road. Everyone take a moment to look at and congratulate the others around you for a job well done. We are all here for the same reason. There is strength in numbers, and amazing things can happen when we come together for a common cause, ours being to stomp out ALS. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Terry. That was a wonderfully moving speech, Roger. Thank you for taking the time to write it for us and share your words with us. They mean quite a bit. And I know that everybody here appreciates you being here, and all the other pals that are here. I look around, there are about a dozen of you here. Thank you all for coming out despite battling this disease and joining us here at Greenwich. There's a lot of feedback. I swear I don't sound like that. I want to introduce one other person, and I know that we're all tired and we want to eat. Just give him a quick minute. He is the Chief Executive Officer, but more importantly, he's one of the most experienced and talented, creative and innovative scientists that are battling on behalf of Roger and all the other pals here today, Dr. Stephen Perrin.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We said a lot of thank yous already, and I don't want to take up much more of your time. For those of you who weren't in Boston, I kicked off Thursday night by sharing a personal experience that last year I intended to ride the trek all 3 days and had a heart attack 4 weeks before the event that I